So if you want to make this really cute bunny, I made the template myself. It's available on my website. The link is below, so go and catch that there. And these are the pieces I've already printed off and cut mine out, and I've made it half the size that the template is on the website. But what I might do actually is make an even smaller one, because I think that would be really cute. So if you want to follow along, get the template, download it, print it off on the size that you would like, then pick the fabric that you want to use. In this one I used a felt fabric, so it's non-fraying, and now I'm going to use a fabric that is tea dyed. So if you print the template on A4 sheet, which is the size it's normally printed off at, this is what it will look like, so it's quite big. And if you change it so that it's A5, or if you print it so that you're printing multiple, so you print 2 to a page, then that's what it will look like, and that's the size of this bunny here. And if you want it even smaller, you can print multiple, and this is 4 to a page, so it prints off even smaller. And I think I'm going to make one of these today. You could even go tinier. I printed this one off and it's actually 16 to a page, so I'm going to cut this one out and see what that one looks like as well. I think for the tiny version I'm going to need some fray stop, so I've got myself some fray stop and also a little paintbrush to apply it with. I've picked out some fabric that I quite like. I went for this thick fabric, and I think I'll have to use that for the slightly larger body, and for the tiny one I'm going to go with a slightly thinner tea dyed fabric, because then it will be slightly easier to turn in. So I'm going to cut my tiny pieces out of this fabric and let's see what it looks like. And the easiest thing to do for the tiny template was to draw around it in a slightly darker pen and then cut it out with a bit of a margin around, and then I'm going to use my fray stop on those edges before I sew. So I've cut all my pieces out. The only thing I haven't cut out is the tail, because I'm going to do something different for that. Now I'm going to add my fray stop and a little bit of fray stop around the edge of all my pieces. I'm going to have to do it on the top and bottom. It just stops it from unravelling. Does make it a little bit stiff. Better if I put it in a shallower pot. And when they're all done, I'm going to have to leave them to dry completely before I start sewing. You'll notice I drew around the shape and left myself a seam allowance. If you want to, you can add a bigger seam allowance, but I don't really want to have to cut mine again, so I've cut it quite slim. And I'm also hand sewing. I think if you were contemplating doing this on a sewing machine, you'd either do it on the flat sheet or cut yourself a much bigger seam allowance, otherwise your fabric will get chewed up by your machine. I'll leave these to dry while I go and unload the weekly shop from Ocado. I'll see you in a moment. So now my edges are dry, I've put all of my double pieces together. So this is a little paw, and I've started this one to sew all the way around my markings in a very small running stitch, and I'm using a regular poly cotton and a needle with quite a small eye, and I'm just doing a very small running stitch, but you could do back stitch, and I'm going to do that for all of them and stop shy obviously of the end, leaving a bit of a gap so that I can turn them out. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to turn them out because it's quite thin fabric, and I do have my tweezers here. So this is the ear, and I've left my little gap. I'm going to see if this one will work first before I do the others. Could be a bit fiddly. So if I push my tweezers right to the end and sort of grab the furthest point and then pull that fabric through so that it's the right way round. I could have clipped my seams, but I haven't done. It's a really small hole to be getting this fabric through. So it is a bit fiddly. Not finished it yet. I shall struggle on. So that was a good few minutes struggling to turn it the right way, but got there in the end. Clipping the seams, I think, probably would have been a good idea, but I didn't on this one, but I probably will on the next one. So there's one ear. Right, on to the next. Here they've all been stitched and turned, and this is the top of the head. So what I'm going to do is pop some stuffing into all of my pieces now, and then I'll attach my little ears to my head. I'll stuff a tiny bit in the arms, although I don't know how much, and then attach those as well. And then I've got to think about what I'm going to do for the face, so let's get on with that. I did not need a lot of stuffing, which is a good job really, because I only had the tiniest bit. So now I'm going to have to stick the ears in there and sew that up at the head, sew on the little paws as well. So the bunny is assembled. Also, that was challenging because it's so tiny. I love the little arms. I like that positioning. Now we're going to add the detail on the face. Now, I could, of course, have added bead for the eyes or something like that, but I think for now what I'm going to do is just sew the eyes and the nose on. We'll start with the nose, shall we? Now I have knotted my thread, but I'm going to go in from the back there, so you're not going to see that knot, but I can always cut that off once I start sewing. So I've got the thread there. We're going to take it across, and I want to make the top part of the nose wider. I'm going to do a satin stitch and then get gradually shorter as I go down about the maximum width. With it being so small, it's quite difficult because to actually decrease the stitch width is difficult because they're so tiny. So you only need a couple of stitches and a tiny one on the end, and that just makes a little tiny triangle. And then we will stitch there and come out a little bit further, make it a bit of a longer mouth there. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. That's quite sweet, isn't it? And then let's take it up to where the eyes could be. I think if we put the eyes, I'm going to go sort of closer to the side. Let's do that one there. So that's the mouth. And then I think we will do just a little French knot. I'm actually going to do a bit of a fatter one, so I think technically you're only supposed to do one loop, aren't you, for a French knot? So I was told, but I've wound it around a couple of times, and then let's take that out on the other side. This is awkward, isn't it, because it's so tiny. Let's hope that knot holds. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's try that again on this side. Hold it still. 2, 3. And pull the knot close to where it's going back in. We're going to take it out under the chin so you don't see the thread coming out. There we go. There we go. Very sweet. Just anchor that with a couple of little stitches under the chin. So that's the face, and then I'll snip that off. And I think what we'll do is add a little bit of pencil on the face to add some details. So I've got an Inktense, and this one is crimson. Now, obviously this is sort of a primitive tea-dyed rabbit, but I did want to add just a little bit of pink to its cheeks. So I'm just going to shade a tiny bit on there, and then I'll dab a little bit of water on and see if that's okay. So I'm not going to overdo it. This little face is lopsided, it's very primitive looking. I might get my brown pencils out and just add a few more sort of age suggestions. That's really cute. I like that. I've got slightly damp brush, and then we'll just activate that using that water, and that'll stop it from rubbing off. So that's cute. Let's see if we've got a nice brown, madder brown. It's quite a reddish brown, and I quite like that actually. So I think we will go with a little bit of the madder brown just to add a bit of definition inside the ears. Maybe just a touch that crimson. I'm almost dry damp brush. And just extract that a little bit. That's surprisingly dark actually. Maybe I overdid that. I'll add a little bit more water, I think. That's very cute. And I might just pop a little bit on its paws. You're not really going to see that. So its little hands, little arms are open. So to make it look a little bit age worn. There we have it. So I think little bunny is finished. So she's tiny, isn't she? And how cute. I think that will look super for perhaps a doll toy or a little diorama. When I say doll toy, I don't mean to give to children. Adults only, obviously, because it's tiny and it's a choking hazard. So we don't give things like this to kids. But I think that would look really cute in my little display rack and maybe for one of my Blythe dolls. So I absolutely love that. So that's it for today. That's my completed rabbit. That's the template that made this one as well, but it was just scaled down. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. And it just goes to show that these little templates are great for using. Just get your imagination going, try a different fabric, try a different scale, a few different supplies, and it's amazing what you can achieve. So if you want this template, it'll be linked below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.